everyone, welcome to the project management course. I will take you through some of the fundamentals of project management, and my name is Dhvanil Mandalia. I have over 6 years of experience within the Indian banking and financial services industry, and I also have a master's qualification in project management from the United Kingdom. So today in this video, you will get to know about what is project management, what do project managers do, how do they manage their projects, what all tools do project managers use. So without further ado, let me take you through the first slide. That the first thing, why is there a need for a project manager in managing different projects? The first thing is the ground rule in project management is managing the scope of work, managing the time in which the project needs to be completed, and thirdly, ensuring that the project is completed within the defined budget. So scope, time, and cost, these three things are the most important factors which comes under project management. Now, in order to ensure that the project is getting tracked properly, the time in which the deliverables need to be delivered, are they on track? So that is why tracking the progress comes into picture, wherein project managers come into picture to track the different stages, the different milestones wherein the project is reaching. That brings us to the objectives redefining. Like as a project manager, it's very important to ensure that the core objectives of a project are clearly defined. So for example, if there is an IT company that is building a new Android application for their target users, then their main objective will be that we are building an app for Android. So the app should be compatible, on Android. It should be compatible on Google Play Store. So there are multiple factors. There are multiple objectives that need to be defined. Along with that, communication. Communication is very important because as a project manager, when you're working on a project, there are different members from different teams. So a lot of cross-functional interaction, there are internal stakeholders, there are external stakeholders. So communication becomes very important. Like as a project manager, you need to keep everyone informed about the progress of the project, and if there are things that are hindering the development of the project or the delivery of the project, then that needs to be communicated to all the stakeholders. And the most important thing is time. Every project should be delivered within a stipulated timeline. The time estimation is of most importance because time is the most precious thing. If a company is building a new application, they have a time, they have a goal set in their mind that the project needs to be rolled out on this particular date, and all the respective cross-functional teams are aligned by the project managers so that time is the project is delivered on a timely basis. So after getting a vague understanding, high level understanding of what project managers are required to do, let us get into more granular details of what project managers really do. What is project management? So just in simple words, a project is, it's a piece of work that has a start date and an end date. It has resources that are required to deliver a project, and there is a cost required to make or deliver a project. So first of all, scope comes into picture. If an IT company is building an app, if an IT company is building a software, or we have construction project managers that are working on building building a new building, or a new architectural, let's say if they're building a new bridge, then scope of work should be clearly defined. Like what is going to be the scope of work, like what is the team expected to do. Then the important thing is tasks. every project has a clear set of subtasks, and the tasks, they get divided into they are divided, and the different members from different teams are aligned to work on those tasks. That's where resources come into picture. So let's say if an IT company is building a new software or a new app, then they will have some front end resources like front end engineers who are going to be working on the UI UX, and there are going to be some backend resources who are going to be working on all the different APIs that need to be integrated, ensuring that the database and all of that is securely connected. So that's where resources, there can be human resources, there can be alternate resources, like in a construction project, the resources could be the all the workers that are working, along with that all the physical resources like cement, we can have bricks, we can have iron bars. All of that comes under resources. Next we come is to the quality, the most important thing while developing a project. Once the project is set up, the quality should be excellent. That's where in an IT based project, there are dedicated quality analysts that do the testing. They do the software testing so that the software is of very good quality. And the core objective, that let's say this app was developed for banking purpose, so the quality analysts are expected that they thoroughly test the application so that all the respective banking workflows, like opening a savings account, opening a current account, transferring money from one account to another account, all of that, all the features within that app are thoroughly tested. That's where quality comes into picture. Then comes cost. See, a project is something which has a definite start date, a definite end date, and it has an allocated cost on an allocated budget for that. So if the cost is properly managed, all the resources, they understand that every resource has a cost. So if all of that is perfectly balanced, then the project will be smoothly delivered within the defined budget. Very important thing, that every project has its own associated risks. Like an IT project, when a project manager is reviewing the different features that need to be developed within the app, it's quite it is imperative that a risk management is also done. Because what just to give a simple example on risk, the app should not be vulnerable to any hackers, or that the app should be made as per the cybersecurity guidelines. It should undergo some cybersecurity checks through a cybersecurity agency, so that all the risk factors are considered. Now, stakeholders play a very important role in project management. As a project manager, the project manager is responsible to interact on a daily basis with the stakeholders to keep them updated about the project progress, because the stakeholders are nothing but the project sponsors as well. Because they bring in the business requirements, they bring in the list of features that need to be developed. So stakeholders need to be completely informed about the project progress, and also it's important that stakeholders play a very important role, wherein if the project is getting stuck, then stakeholders should step in and they should give their vital input. Schedules and teams. Schedules, so every project should be time bound. There should be a schedule. Let's say if an app is need to be built for over 6 months, then the first 3 months should be the hardcore development of the app, and the next 2 months can be core testing of the app, and the final month could be the rollout of the app to the end users. That's how the schedule should be defined by the project managers with the stakeholders consent. Teams, very important factor. Project managers need to collaborate. The Without collaboration, project managers will not be able to achieve the actual outcome. So they need to form their teams. There needs to be a dedicated project team. The team needs to meet on a regular basis or on a weekly basis, and the contribution should be immense. And once the project manager knows what the scope is, what the project is, which all resources are working, how much cost is getting consumed. On a daily or on a weekly basis, the project manager should send out dashboards or reports to all the stakeholders or to all the business users who are directly related to the project. So the reporting framework will ensure that everyone has visibility of which project is at which stage, and if there are any risks or if there are any blockers or if there are any hindrances. So the project manager can ensure that the entire unit, the business unit, is informed about how the project is progressing, and if there are any risks, then the project manager can step in with the concerned stakeholder team and they can mitigate those risks. Now, after we understood what project managers do, now how do project managers ensure that the project is smoothly ongoing? The first is the initiation. So coming to project initiation, so very important that the project manager is, the first kickoff meeting wherein all the stakeholders, all the respective members within the project team, they are part of the project initiation project. So this kickoff meeting is essential so that everyone has clarity of what the project is and what purpose is the project going to solve. Planning, objective and scope. So once the project scope is defined, then planning, this is where the project manager needs to vitally step in, run around, form small little teams, ensure that the project team is clear about their roles and responsibilities, and the cost and the entire action plan and the risk assessment and all of that is done. After the planning is complete, once the team starts working on the project, then the actual execution comes into picture. Like in a software project management, the first, once the project, the development team, the software development team starts working on the project, then there is one release which is sent out, which is delivered on a lower environment called as the staging environment, wherein the quality analysts and all of that will do the testing. And once the testing is done, once the app is, or the software is in a good working condition and it is as per the business requirement, then the quality analysts, they provide their approval so that the app can be moved into the live production environment, so that the actual business users or the actual customers of that application can also use those new features. Then once a new build or a new release is sent out to the users, there's a change management process wherein there are new changes that are made in the system. So it's very important to build a monitoring and control framework about any changes that are made in the system, so that all the key performance indicators, as known as KPIs, are continuously monitored. That how much is the uptime of the app. Uptime basically is that, let's say if the app had crashed or the app had gone down, that's the downtime. So uptime is the availability of the app should be good. All the different screens, all the APIs, all the data which is passing through the app, is that getting stored? Are the APIs responding on time? So a lot of monitoring of KPIs, a lot of monitoring of risks, and there is the report which are also sent out about the health of the application as such. Once monitoring and control is balanced, then there is a closure wherein, you know now that the app is running in a stable mode, the project manager can create a closure note saying that the new changes that were released in the app, they are getting stable, and the customers have started using the new features seamlessly. That's when that particular project or that change can be marked as closed, and the handover can be given to the respective support teams, along with the report to send out that the app is, or the new release which is sent out, is working good, and uh, you know Some post-project analysis can also be done depending on how many users are consuming those new features and how are they finding those new features. So this is how basically project managers are expected to work and ensure that the project is released, it's developed, and it is then it's kept under monitoring and control. Now, project managers are expected to know which all tools are important. So Jira is one very important tool. It's a commonly used tool across most of the organizations for project management. It has several features wherein it allows users to create Kanban dashboards, write user stories. So Jira is one big tool. Along with Jira, there is Confluence as well, where Confluence allows users to do all the knowledge management. Confluence is basically all the important project notes, release notes, all of that are documented in Confluence, which is again an Atlassian tool. Trello is again similar to Jira. It's for project management. It's basically for dividing tasks amongst users, among the project team, and ensuring that the tasks are delivered, monitoring the progress of the tasks. Slack also comes into picture, wherein it helps users to provide faster communication. Notion, another application which is a documentation platform, and Slide, it's another documentation management. Apart from these, there are several other tools, but these are some of the most commonly used tools. Even Microsoft has a Microsoft Project Manager, and Microsoft has a Microsoft Project Management tool, which allows users to track their projects on a day-to-day basis. So these are the tools that project managers use. Now coming to the one of the most important methodology that project managers are currently adopting for delivering IT projects. That's an agile approach. Agile is nothing but, delivering smaller chunks of work, dividing. So if there is a big task, the task is divided into smaller chunks, and then the respective scrum team or the agile team, they are quickly working on those tasks and ensuring that the tasks are delivered on time, and they can pick up more and more tasks by dividing by dividing the main task into smaller subtasks. Now, in Agile, there are three different parties that come into picture. There is the product owner. The product owner is nothing but your business user who brings the new business requirements. The owner of that product, for example, if it is a banking and finance, or if it is a medical related mobile application, then the business users for banking could be people from the sales channel, could be people from the marketing channel. Same applies for medical. The users would be from let's say from different departments, like from they can be from the pediatrics department. They can bring in new requirements in the app. Then as a scrum master, the scrum master is a project manager. So the scrum master is the bridge between the product owner and the scrum team. So the scrum master will ensure that all these features that the product owner has brought to the table, those features are divided into their respective subtasks, and they are allotted to the respective scrum teams. So the scrum master will have a daily scrum, that is, we can call it as a daily stand-up with the scrum team once the subtasks are finalized, just to ensure that the scrum team, which comprises of the software developers, the quality analysts, the DevOps, all of that, so just to track the daily progress of their respective subtasks. In case the scrum team is facing any issues or blockers, then the scrum master will intervene and will try to get those resolved. And if the product owner's input is also required, then the product owner will also be involved in those discussions. So once the scrum team it delivers the software piece that they had to develop, then the software piece gets tested by the quality analyst, and once it is approved, then the feature gets tested by the product owner. So the product owner will give the final sign off, and once the product owner approves that this feature is as per the business expectation, then the scrum master can coordinate, and the scrum master can take it live with the users. Now this is a more granular picture of what Scrum is. So as I mentioned previously, that there's a product owner, there is a scrum master, there's a scrum team, and there are stakeholders as well. Now, certain artifacts that the project manager uses while working on a scrum project is ensuring that the product backlog, like all the new features and all of that, they are getting tracked, and the product backlog is basically all the new features. They are assigned to the scrum team as per the priorities in the product backlog. Then there is a sprint goal, that let's say if the development team is going to deliver 15 items in a month's time, or if we are going to define the sprint for 15 days. So the product the product with the scrum master can discuss with the product owner, and they can decide upon the main priority items that can be picked up as the part of the sprint goal. So that will reduce the sprint backlog. So sprint backlog is basically the items that have been picked up by the development team during the sprint. Now the sprint can be for 2 weeks, or it can be for a month, and that's how the sprint is nothing but the development cycle, wherein users are wherein the development team is working on the software development side and rolling out those features for testing. Blockers, most importantly, any hindrances or any dependencies that are hindering the progress of the project can be highlighted to the scrum master in the daily stand-up or in the daily scrum, so that the scrum master can connect with the respective product owner or the different stakeholders and get those blockers resolved as soon as possible. And as and when during the 15-day sprint cycle, as in when the respective features are getting developed, there is a daily increment which happens, and that shows the daily progress in a sprint. Now, in order to ensure that the deliverables or the project is delivered on time, the project manager or a scrum master is expected to follow the following scheduled meetings, which is first the sprint planning. Sprint planning has to be with the product owners and with the development team, just to finalize on what all items need to be picked as a part of the sprint, what is the sprint goal, and this has to be entirely run by the scrum master. Then there has to be daily scrums. Once the development team is finalized on what all items are going to be picked up, then the scrum master is going to have a daily quick 15-minute scrum with the respective team members about what were they working on yesterday, what are they going to do today, and if there are any blockers or wherein the scrum master's help is required, then that can be considered. Then there is a sprint review, like that's a demo wherein whichever items were picked up by the respective the development team, by the scrum team. So those features or the features in the app, they will be demonstrated in front of the stakeholders and the product owner, and the stakeholders and the product owners will provide their feedback, and whether this new piece of software which has been released, is that of the actual standard, is it meeting the business requirement, is the quality good. And once the sprint completes, then there can be a sprint retrospective, wherein the scrum master will invite the product owner and the scrum team, and they can have a joint discussion on what went well within the sprint, what could have been done better, so that whatever the gaps are, or whatever were some challenges, how could they overcome in the upcoming sprints, so that they can ensure that the next sprint is much more smoother and deliverables are tracked faster. So thank you very much to everyone who has listened and who has seen this video. This is what project managers are expected to do, and these are the different techniques that project managers use while they're working on software development or IT projects. Thank you.